double up, guys. We got to double up on the next one, all right? We got to double up.
Hold on.
We can't double up.
Oh, you ruined the moment.
The way that I've ever seen it.
We're doing
Yeah. We broke it. Listing and selling homes.
That's right. All right. So hey, what do we do?
We're the quality of
Live business.
What do we do with that? How do we do it? I don't even know what the next question is.
by selling homes.
By selling homes. What are you?
Millionaires.
What's the market center?
Number one in Missouri.
Let me just do that. All right, we are launching out of the gate in a massive way, aren't we? So all kinds of energy here, right? I gotta tell you guys, give me the scoop on what's working really well for you guys right now. What is happening in your world that is creating a little bit of momentum in your business? You guys can go ahead and speak up whenever you like. I'm cool with that too.
I'm just getting a lot of calls from past clients, it seems like the past 2 weeks.
So the momentum coming in from some of the past clients. So tell me about that. Buyers, sellers,
Sellers. No, well, both.
a little both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or referrals, it just seems like the ghost of Christmas past is coming back and making me money.
So are other people seeing the phones kind of light up a little bit more? Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Lots.
Keith, I know you've had a lot of success here over the last short while. What do you contribute that to?
You want it, Chad?
Well, you know my efforts, I guess. It's still the market's still contributing to it. The phones are just kind of ringing.
Okay.
So I'm still aware that it's a window of opportunity. There's a big upside I can do to be better.
Okay.
But just being in conversation with people, talking with people.
Great.
4 new listings, and it could be 7, but we'll see.
So you get 4 new listings, right?
Mhm.
That's pretty solid, guys. I love that.
Remember
Hey,
that leadership meeting we went to, and I forgot who said it, but they said, if there's a place for the money to go, the money will come. And I think that's what happened. My husband and I got our thoughts together, and it just started coming together.
where's it going?
Calling someone else now.
It is kind of cool though, guys. So I mean, kind of explain that. I mean, like basically it's, some might describe that as the secret, right?
We decided we need a game plan. It was just too disorganized, and we started thinking, and we went on vacation, and it's like, where do we want to be when we're retired, and where do we want to do this, and yeah. It is a lot like The Secret. It's a lot like.
The difference though is that actually I've heard actually there's going to be a sequel to The Secret that's actually implementing after going ahead and starting that kind of stuff. So you can't just sit there and think about it, you actually have to do, right?
Right.
That's really cool. Cool, all right, well give me 1 or 2 other great things that are going on. Anybody else? What's happening, guys?
Bonnie hired her first buyer specialist.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yay! So Bonnie, how's that feel?
I don't know yet.
I can't believe it.
So I think it's kind of cool. I went to Action Trendly Motivate this past week, and one of the things that they talked about was the levels of leadership. And one of the things they talk about is the first level is I do it, right? Does anybody else feel like that? I'm doing it all, right? I get a lead that comes in, I call them, I service them, I do everything, right?
Everything.
And then the level 2 is we do it. So hey, the lead comes in and we'll take care of it together, right? We'll take care of it together. We'll be on the same side of the table and we'll really knock it out. And then level 3 is they do it. So the lead comes in and somebody else services it. What does that offer you guys?
Freedom.
Freedom to do what you're good at and what you like to do.
Freedom, right? Freedom. That's awesome. So that's great. In those sense, words freedom. I like that. I had a couple things too. Mike Galloway, not to put you on the spot, but I am, brother. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from? What are you looking to do? What are you aspiring to do over the next 6 months?
Well, I'm coming from Real Living. I was there, first started with Susan Brewer, went over there about, I think it was 2 years ago. So I want to do a change. We're getting some pushback on the Real Living name, kind of hurt my listing side. We're going to hit out of the park on the listing side. Buyers really have some problems with that.
Love it. Awesome.
Welcome,
Thanks, bud.
welcome.
Welcome. Awesome. And then I also wanted to introduce Stacy Fitch. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're aspiring to do over the next short while.
Thanks for the heads up there, John. My name is Stacy. I am a divorced single mom of 3. I ran my own business for 10 years. Since my divorce, I'm kind of, just trying to get my bearings and stuff. And some of my passions / hobbies are, I have an eye for decorating. I love homes, and if there was a home tour, I'd be on it. So kind of through Becky Jecka and stuff, just kind of started thinking about it and felt God pushing me in that direction. So, came from a very large home and a very high income, and now I'm just looking for, I've had all of that, and I want to build security in a life for my kids and I, and highly motivated. So I'm just kind of looking to learn the business and kind of nail it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool stuff. Like I say, guys, both of them are fireballers. Keep an eye on them. They're going to be the young guns, and just some fun stuff here. And they have a great class that they're working with. So that's excellent. And then I got to also say, I saw you back there, and now you're kind of floating around. I'm just really excited about this past week. As a leadership team, we're starting to see a lot of things kind of go from maybe a reactive position. Has anybody been in a reactive position? What is that like in your business?
Causes chaos.
Causes chaos.
Reactive?
The seller actually, who you meant to call last week to tell them what you were doing with the listing and servicing it, you didn't do that, so then they're actually calling you saying, where are you at? And really the conversation should have been, man, you really need to have a price reduction. Now you're in more of a receiving role and just saying, hey, tell me what I did wrong, and trying to go ahead and satisfy that, right? Versus a proactive behavior. In those proactive kind of situations, when you're servicing the listings, what happens to your business? What are those conversations? Who's in control of those conversations? You're in control, right? So I got to tell you, I think that the staff has been doing a great job of that, led by Jackie, Diane, Edwina, and Crystal. They're just doing some phenomenal things, really being in a more proactive position to better service you guys. So I really want to go ahead and applaud them. So great job.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you ready to dive in?
Yes.
All right, I want you guys to take a look at the language of real estate. You guys know what that is? It's it looks like this in your book. In the,
LOR, our LOR.
Come on in.
So do you guys have this? Yep. Second page. All right, look at the bottom there. How your market center compares. So basically, the first group of numbers there is all about Marist numbers in June, okay? And then our group is actually the second one, and that's for our office specifically. And then we go ahead and collaborate with the board and find out how we're doing in relationship to that. So how your market center compares. So there's some good numbers in there, right? And then there's some not so good numbers, right?
Yeah, the net minus 10.
There's a couple minuses in there, aren't there? A couple minuses. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Where are the minuses? The second? I think he's talking about down here, right? I don't know.
The third one,
The bottom one.
right? The bottom one. So what do you think about that? Listings taken and listings taken volume down negative 20%, or we're being outpaced by the market 20% and 2%. Listings taken. What were we doing last month? Where did we start our focus? Is there a number? Is that a little bit of a surprise to you guys?
Yeah, it is. Listings coming in.
We did have a lot of listings come in.
So what's the off balance then?
What gives is what you're saying, right? Well, what we do today shows up when?
Halloween.
90 days. So I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. Basically, we made that initiative for a hard 30 days. If I were to change one thing about it, what might I change? What's that?
Started earlier.
I like that one started earlier, but maybe instead of making it 30 days, what about making it 90?
Right, because that would get us through Christmas.
Get us through Christmas. Now, the other thing too, has anybody been keeping track on Crystal's updates Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
Yeah.
I've been watching that progress, and as of late, has the progress been ramping up a little bit more? Stephanie, you told me a week ago you had how many listings?
We took 8 in 1 week.
8 in 1 week.
The next week, yeah. I've
Eight.
never done that ever in my career, ever.
So, guys, maybe some of that stuff, maybe those seeds were planted a little bit earlier, likely, and that's when it was starting to come to fruition. So guys, that's what I was kind of looking at there. You know, so the listings that we're getting outpaced by, you know, that might be for this past month. By the way, last June was a killer month for us, you know, so that's not you know, something to put in the equation. But what I'm expecting are these numbers to start going ahead and compounding, all right? Now, I also want to talk about this too. We've got here contracts written and contracts written volume, that the market is outpacing our market center. So we had a couple people in here talk about how the market has been able to go ahead and keep their business a little bit more buoyant. Let me ask you guys, an agent that's very reactive, that's highly dependent on the market, versus an agent that's very proactive, that has complete control of their destiny, and everything is it's purposeful, and it's not happenstance. It's predictable, right?
Right.
Which one of those agents are going to have more success when the market itself is moving in the right direction?
Proactive. Predictable.
Predictable? I'll tell you what. Here's the thing, guys. If I'm over here, I like the thought process. Might be a little counterintuitive, but let's think about this. Here's the agent over here, completely reactive. Let's think about it this way: looking for the phone to come in, the phone call to come in. All right. And over here, you've got an agent that's making phone calls every single day, regardless of what's going on in the market. Who's going to have a bigger bump in their business if the market goes in the right direction?
One of the calls every day.
Really?
No, the reactive's gonna have a temporary bump, but the other one's gonna have the.
There you
Oh,
go.
I see.
You've got the temporary bump over here because they're waiting for the phone calls to come in. What do you think that it is commonplace in our market? A proactive agent or a reactive agent?
Nowadays is reactive.
Common is reactive. Guys, I can tell you, when I got into the business, it was more like an 80-20 rule. 20% of the people got 80% of the business, and then it kind of turned into 10% of the people got 90% of the business. Guys, I really believe that 5% of the agents out there are getting the lion's share of the business right now. And the one thing that I can tell you that's different about the 5% and the 95%, the 5% are being proactive. Now, what's great about those proactive folks, they're having consistent success over the course of time. It might go ahead and leave a little bit of a blip on the radar here though, right? Now, I gotta tell you, I'm not justifying these numbers down, okay? I just want you guys to be aware of it. So when you guys are looking at this stuff, you say, you know, hey, this is how I can interpret the language of real estate and what it means to me, all right? Now, is the proactive agent, are they just gonna sit back and be relaxed if the reactive agent's starting to outpace them? Probably not. So we're gonna talk about a couple of those things there too. Now, the interesting thing here is that we do have a couple things that I think are really important. Listings taken and listings taken volume. I'm sorry, listings sold and listings sold volume. Sorry about that. Listings sold and listings sold volume. How do you feel about that number?
Awesome.
That's pretty sweet, guys. I mean, I gotta tell you, you know, the name of the game isn't inventory. The name of the game is actually sold inventory, right? Now, I want to be real clear with you guys. The reason we're focused on 501 is that, I mean, in order to have sold inventory, you have to have inventory. So the A comes before B. So we actually had our best month ever in sold listings.
Yahoo!
Yeah, I like that. So, you know, the cool thing about this is that what we focus on expands. And the cool thing is that once you go ahead and one thing begets another, okay? So when you focus on that listing inventory, then all of a sudden the listings start to sell, right? I think that's a pretty cool deal. So I wanted to kind of point that out to you guys. What thoughts do you have about that stuff? Where can you use this in your conversations with clients, prospects, agents? How can you use this tool?
Well, I can use it to say, you know, there's a lot of companies outpacing us perhaps in listings taken, but they're charging less, they're doing it for less commissions, less service, yet we're charging more perhaps, but the results are that we're actually selling. So as on a conversation with a seller could be, you know, yeah, you might have Billy Bob in at 4.5%, I'm charging you 7 or more, but we're selling the listings, and here's proof that we're actually selling homes. Do you want to take the chance and not have your home sell? Something like that.
I mean, guys, my little slogan was don't just list it, sell it with Sprague. What if you went ahead and said, look, hey, our listing sold, we're outpacing the market by 17%.
And if you know your own numbers, you can say how you are personally outpacing the market.
That's pretty critical right there. I mean, I'll tell you, if you've got that, you know, complemented with something like this, you know, and you can kind of say, these are the ideas and strategies that are out there working right now. And if you don't know those numbers, use these. And my challenge to you over the next 6 weeks is to go ahead and figure out what your numbers are, so you can have those conversations that are unique to you. All right? Does that make sense? All right, cool. I did want to kind of go on to the 501. So how do you guys feel about the 501? The goal that we threw out there of having 501 listings by July 1st. What's your thoughts about that? It's July 23rd right now. We're at 60.
They're 4%, 62%.
No, actually it's like 68. 67% of our goal. How do you guys feel?
But I think we all saw a lot of energy and saw a lot of business from it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you said, you shoot for the stars and you hit the moon. If you shoot for the moon and hit the stars, you know, you got there, you made some
Right.
momentum, so.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm super proud about this. You know, I mean, you know, we're moving at a rapid pace. We're taking on more listings this month than we have any month prior. You know, and I think that's an incredible thing. What's important about bringing listings on? Why have I been harping about listings for the last 5 or 10 minutes? Listings bring buyers. So if I'm a buyer's agent, do I care about listings? I mean, does that insulate my buyer leads, right? What else does it do?
Frees up your time,
It's leverage, right? Frees up your time. How so?
because it's easier to manage listings and take out buyers.
Okay. I agree.
And I'm finding I go on listing appointments and it's just, we see Keller Williams signs everywhere, so I'm 90% sold. So I appreciate the listings that we have as a company because people are seeing them everywhere.
You know, that's one we haven't talked about yet. So, you know, as our listing inventory becomes stronger, our market share gets bigger. Might that help you out in your listing conversations?
Yes, it will.
I mean, there's proofs in the pudding. I mean, like, that's right there.
I have to say, it's been a long time since I've heard someone say Keller who, you know, in the beginning, 3 years ago, you had to sell the name first and where you're at and then yourself. Now, it's not that way, it's all about your marketing and what you're gonna do for them, it's not about the sign anymore.
I agree. So, I mean, you know, that inventory is picking up in a major league fashion, right? Great. What's next for us? What's next? What are we gonna do now? You know, we have the 501 by July 1st. I mean, should we just go ahead and kick it to the curb, or should we keep going to it?
Keep going.
Yeah, let's rock, man. Let's get it there. You know, one of the things that I'd like to do is have a teleconference, and basically a teleseminar, and I'm just going to get all the info out to everybody, and we're going to talk about how do we get more listing inventory. What's our personal goal? We're going to have some accountability with it. So every Wednesday, and Stephanie, actually, I'm going to have to redo our conversation, because every Wednesday at 11 o'clock, okay? It's on the, I think it's 11 o'clock. We had it on the calendar. Actually, I'm sorry, 12 to 1, there it is. Listing Legends, we're gonna have it from 12 to 1, all right? Every Wednesday from 12 to 1, I'll get the call information out to you guys. And anybody that wants to be on there, we can be on it. And ultimately, we're gonna be talking about specific strategies to go ahead and bring more listing inventory in, all right? At least 1 or 2 things we're gonna be talking about each time, and then we're gonna just talk, hey, what's working? Just a mastermind, and any questions that you got, challenges that you're having, we're gonna have that conversation right there. So you can go ahead and do that from your car, you can do it from home, you can do it whatever. That information will be getting out so we can have those conversations this Wednesday. Does that sound pretty good? So I think having that conversation, being top of mind, is our first step to going ahead and becoming more purposeful with it. Cool? All right, so the other thing I wanted to kind of add to everything here and bring more value, because I mean, Mark and I were in here at about, I don't know, 10:58, 10:59, about how many folks were in here?
6, 7.
6 or 7, which by the way, I'm very happy to have the 6 or 7 people that were here. But what time of the year is this? It's vacation time, guys. So, I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm so proud that you guys are here spending your time with me and having some focus on your business, because when you're in here saying yes to this, what are you saying to everything else in your life? No. When you say yes to this, you're saying no to everything else. So I'm incredibly, grateful that you guys have had a chance to go ahead and come in here today. So if I'm having you guys come in here for an hour, I gotta increase my value. I mean, these are the times when the value has to go up, up, up. So there's something that I wanna add in here every time that we have a meeting, and just call it top agent tips. All right, and the first one I wanna share with you is one that I've shared with you guys many times beforehand, but I think it needs to be reiterated because we're getting outperformed in contracts written. I think we've got a lot of activity that's going on out there, a lot of momentum moving in the right direction. And one of the easiest ways that I know that we're going to go ahead and get more contracts written is just to have a little bit more understanding of what our scripts are. I'm going to give you one question that will get you into more contracts than any other question that you can ask. Anyone that I've shared this with, do you know what question I'm going to be asking? Otherwise, I write this one down. What would it take for this property to be number one on your list? What would it take for this property to be number one on your list? So let's just say that I'm showing a buyer a property and I ask the buyer that. What might the buyer say? I'll really dissect this for you guys so you have a clear understanding what I'm trying to get across. What might the buyer say?
They gotta come way down.
Price, okay. What else?
Condition.
Condition, all right. What specifically condition?
Maybe something on the carpet or.
Carpet.
Painting or,
I want that
Carpet paint.
swimming pool out of the backyard.
All right, carpet painting, carpet painting, swimming pool, and price, right? Carpet painting, swimming pool, and price is what we just had. This is one of our buyer's objections, right? So what's the price, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what price would you be comfortable with this at? Give me a price.
I think they need to knock 20,000 off.
Okay, so what is that, 150?
Yes.
Okay, so 150. And then you said get the swimming pool out of there, so if they filled the pool in and everything was good and you had perfect landscaping.
What's above ground pool? It's just nasty.
All right.
Yeah.
I see you got a perfect vision of what this house looks like. All right.
I've listed it yesterday.
All right, so the pool's out. All right, so they're going to take the pool out is what you're wanting.
Yeah.
And then it needs some paint. You know, and what are you looking for? Sherwin-Williams? What kind of color? What do you want?
It's a neutral. This is not neutral.
Let's neutralize it.
Yeah.
And then the carpet. It's a little ratty. I mean, do we want it clean, or do you need new carpet in there?
We're thinking about just putting in hardwoods ourselves after we move in.
So that's what you just want to put hardwoods in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you mind, Keith, if I asked the seller if they'd be willing to accommodate your interest?
You think they do it?
Keith, I have no idea. But do you mind if I ask?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, because we like the school district and all that, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a great school district, it's killing. Okay, great. So now what do I do with the listing agent? Call them. Say, look, man, my buyer kind of likes it. Here's the things that we need to have happen in order to make this thing work. What are your thoughts?
Jeff's the listing agent.
This is what my buyer is asking for. I mean, can you just see if your sellers are willing to accommodate it? So I mean, Jeff's gonna be like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, like, this thing just came on the market, and basically you're asking for 20 grand off, and $30,000-$40,000 worth of stuff. Hey, Jeff, I know, that maybe this thing came from you. I have no idea what your seller's motivation is. This is just what my buyer's asking. I didn't want to bother you with writing everything up, but I mean, would you mind, lobbing a call in?
I can do that, but I wouldn't mind if you wrote it up, so I recommend that you go ahead and sit down with
Killer.
your buyer.
Love you.
And
Love
actually
you.
present that in
Love you.
writing, because it'll go a lot further than you just kind of making an off-the-wall phone call.
Love it. Yeah, right. Me giving you a $20 bill today versus telling you I'm going to give you $20 tomorrow has a different value, right? Great. Great, Jeff. Awesome. So now that puts me, now I'm in a formal. If Jeff forces me to get into a formal offer, now I've got a formal offer going on. What might happen? Even now, yeah, we might have. Now we have a chance, right? Every shot we don't take, we miss, right? Wayne Gretzky. Now, do you think every listing agent's going to be like Jeff? And forces to put it in writing?
No, but I think if you, with some of those agents, because we've been doing that same thing, is if you're really nice when you call them, even though the offer's kind of off the wall and they're asking for a lot, and you kind of let them, help them through that conversation, they're a lot more open.
I
They
agree
really,
with
really
that.
are. But you have to coach them in that call,
Okay. Why didn't I ask Keith to write a contract?
because I scared them off.
It's called incremental commitment. It's called incremental commitment. Did I ask him to go ahead and, what would it take to write a contract? Was that what my question is? What was the question?
Number one, number one.
On my
What would be
list.
to be number one on the list? Now, what do I know that's likely to happen if something's number one on the list?
It's better than once.
There's a good chance they're gonna write on it, right? So it's called incremental commitment. That's basically the deal with it. Now, where can you use that question?
Listing presentation.
How so? That's great.
What would it take for me to be your only choice or first choice to list the home?
I like that. That's the specific question I gave you. Let's work on that one though, real quick. That specific question. What would it take for this home to be number one on your list? Where could you use that? One, you're showing a buyer, right?
At an open house.
Feedback.
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 Yes. We actually have it on there.
Feedback, guys. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, I just want to find out, what would it take for this to be number one on your buyer's house? That's huge. That's huge. Anything else you guys can think of? I like open houses. I didn't think about that one. So how would you use it as an open house?
If you're hosting the open house, you've got a visitor through, asking them a question to kind of find out more about them.
Right.
Maybe turn them into a lead for yourself.
Yeah, right? Why not double dip it, right? I think that's huge. And I think that's a subtle way to ask for feedback, right? And you're getting very specific stuff. Here's the thing. How many of you guys are going to ask that question at least once this week? I see everybody's hand up, but I'll tell you what. Here's the thought. Do you think you might get into more contracts this week just by doing that?
Yes.
Keep me posted. I want to know, because I've got a very strong feeling that if you guys ask that with any sort of consistency, you guys will have more contracts. I am positive if you use this over the next 30 days, you're going to get at least one contract. I mean, there's almost no question about it. Almost no question about it. So what seems very simple, we don't need to overcomplicate it. It's very simple. We just need to do it. All right? Now, the second thing I kind of want to talk a little bit about is that our listing inventory is starting to rise, right? Which is great. What are you guys doing to market your listings? What are you guys doing to set yourself apart from your competition? And what are you doing to market them? What's your system there? Just throw out some ideas. Craigslist. What else? Facebook.
Door knocking.
Door knocking. What else?
Open house.
Open houses.
Letting your sphere know.
Is that a lot?
Letting your sphere know. Your sphere, like
Your
your
sphere,
slide
letting the
window.
sphere of influence know. What else?
Networking.
Networking. I love it. What else?
Just listed postcards.
Just listed postcards. Great. Give me one more.
Video emails.
Video emails. Okay. All right. So you want to know what the National Association of Realty, what they suggest, offers the greatest probability to getting your home sold? What mediums offer the greatest probability?
The price?
What mediums from
Okay.
marketing? Okay, the price is definitely a huge one. All right, so internet's number one, right? Internet far and away number one, gets the most exposure for your property, okay? What do you guys think number two is?
Signs.
Signs are up there, but they're not number two.
Agent to agent?
Agents. Agent relationships. Did you guys, and this would be a number that I would be using every single listing appointment. Did you guys know that 86% of the buyers that are going to buy in the next 30 days are currently working with a realtor? 86%, I'm gonna say that again. 86% of the buyers that are buying in the next 30 days are currently working with a realtor. But why would that be?
It's
Why
free.
would- I mean, they're A buyers, right? A buyers are what? First-time home buyers? Are first-time home buyers just working on themselves or by themselves, or might they need a little bit of guidance? They want guidance, right? So then you've also got individuals that either they sold their home and they're looking to buy their next one. They got some urgency?
Yes.
Are they working with an agent that can go ahead and get them plugged into the MLS immediately, or are they just, perusing the Sunday paper? We're with an agent, right? Relocation. they're in town X amount of hours, are they working with an agent or are they working with the post? Does that number make sense? 86% of the buyers that are gonna buy in the next 30 days are working with an agent. So if I had a listing out here in Cottleville, might I think that the probability of an agent working in and around Cottleville would likely bring the buyer over somebody maybe in Benton Park?